Wait. It's been so long since I've heard your voice on this podcast. That's all I got.
What song is that?
I don't know. I was looking for something, that really nice pop song in that say something about I missed you, you're back. Yeah. Nothing came to mind, so I just made it up as I went.
I don't think anyone is because no one's written a song about that.
Here it is. I got. The boys are back in town. That's it.
The boys are back on the air.
Boys are back on pod.
So what season is this? 13?
I think 14? This is the. Yeah. We're getting into the late seasons for sure. We're gonna get canceled soon. For non-efficient
putting out
production.
One episode per season business will get
Turns
us
out
canceled.
you got to actually have a podcast to not get canceled.
I think we actually skipped a real season of Earth. You know what I mean? So,
or two.
I don't know what we call
one
it.
season's gonna have one episode.
Yeah.
It's because the writer's strike, wasn't it?
That was it.
Yep. That's what happened.
Yep.
That's what happened.
No, I had some problems with Pro Tools for the last year, so that's why.
Been
But we're
writing
back.
a dang record on the Pro Tools, so.
Well, so that's
there's
the
your
thing.
Good excuse.
That's my good excuse. We haven't been recording podcasts because we've been recording a lot of other things, namely new Disciple demos.
And Walking Dead episodes.
Yeah, if we count the DVR, there's a lot
That's a
of
good point.
recording that's been happening.
We've been recording Better Call Saul episodes.
Ridiculousness.
Lots of ridiculousness. My favorite show of all time.
Oh man, that was a funny story because I don't know if you've seen the show Ridiculousness, but it is a clip video show where they show funny videos of people on YouTube or whatever doing silly things and
on music television.
Super original.
Yeah, it's on MTV, which is not the right name.
Never even heard of it.
Anyway,
Having trouble giving that.
I'm trying to take my jacket off while I hold
you.
this microphone. Thank you, Joey. I need an assistant.
Yeah, we need a video
Luke.
for some of that stuff.
I know. Luke, get up here.
Yeah. So, Ridiculousness, we figured out we liked it, and so we thought we'd record it on the DVR, but turns out it airs like 12 episodes every day. And so it quickly filled up our DVR, and Kevin was not very happy when he discovered
The programmers at MTV are clearly mailing it in.
that. Yeah. And they're not 12 new episodes a day. Don't get me wrong.
The same 12 episodes of people falling off skateboards onto their gonads every day.
Here's the only thing
personally-
that aggravated me, and it's very simple. It's that there was this recording set up on the DVR with 47 episodes on the DVR, and I never one time, not once, in my lifetime of this heart beating, ever saw anybody watching it from the DVR.
Right.
I
Well,
only saw people watching it when it was just on TV.
That's the irony, is that it was always on, so we never had to watch the recorded
Yeah, I
ones.
think the motive behind recording it was like some days we won't get the satellite signal.
Right.
So I think it was actually me and Josiah's idea. It was like, why don't we record Ridiculousness so when we don't have satellite signal, we can watch episodes of Ridiculousness. But like he just said, every time we turn on the dang TV, the show was on. So
Yeah, we
It's
never
really
needed it.
funny.
Thanks for dragging me into that
It's
with
one
me,
of-
by the way.
It's one of my wife's. It's one of my wife's favorite shows.
Really?
Yeah, she loves watching
That's
it.
awesome.
Stuff like that, Impractical Jokers. She's totally into
I love it.
funny stuff.
Also, since then, our satellite has been upgraded to one that
That is
doesn't
true.
have a reception issue. So
We've had
it's
very
pretty
few
cool.
reception issues. Actually, today we have really bad cell phone reception. We are in Caribou, Maine, which is about as far north as you can get in the United States of America.
There's
Hi, Natalie.
Natalie needs the Wi-Fi. There it is.
I've got two Wi-Fis looking right at me.
I get it.
That's good.
Wi-Fi's. That was awesome.
Do you want to say hi?
No.
Okay.
I've been trying to get on this
Wife banter.
podcast for a year and a half.
Well, you're on it.
They never let me on, so I'm exiting. I'm taking my Wi-Fi and I'm getting out of here.
Thank you. Love you.
Oh man. To those who don't know, that was Andrew's betrothed spouse, wife, Natalie.
Also, my betrothed.
Betrothed.
We're best friends.
That's cool.
Bro joke.
Your wife's your bro. I don't know if that's.
So, bro.
We can cut that, right?
Yeah. Can't wait for her.
Not
to
that-
hear
not
this
since you asked.
podcast.
Well, I asked her if she listens to the podcast, and she said no. And I said, why not? And she says, I have to listen to you guys talk all day. Why would I do it in my free time?
Great point. As soon as she gets in the car and leaves the bus lot, she turns on.
It was
Bus
the
Banter.
most legit answer I could have imagined.
I hear all of your guys' lame jokes every day.
It's so true. I guess when I think about it, our target audience is people who are not around us 24/7. So
yeah, people that are not hearing us test the material.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, this is the cream
So-
of the crop, folks. What you're listening to is the very best that we have.
Yeah.
We spend the rest of the time practicing for this.
And as we've stated in our absence, we have obviously been testing the most material you can imagine. So
That's true. This is actually
should
a
be-
4-hour episode. So
should be the best
Absolutely.
and longest
Speaking of-
episode of them all.
also you shouldn't use absence.
Pause for station identification while I try to figure out what's in my brain. The other day,
You are listening to the Bus Banter Radio Network,
Down.
a Prince production.
brought to you by Monster Energy drinks, which are satanic, but not after we have had them blessed by Pope Francis.
That's true. We get custom cases sent to us from the Vatican.
If you don't think this joke's funny, we'll see you on Facebook.
Wow.
Anyway, what I was going to say was there was a day, and in true form, I don't remember, which is,
You're kidding me.
shocking to everybody here that I wouldn't remember something. I headbanged all my
This
memory
was
cells
after our
away.
tour with the Day to Remember.
Nice.
No, we were talking the other day about some really cool stuff, and I said, that needs to be the topic for the podcast. What the heck were we talking about? I have no idea.
We even stopped talking about it so that we wouldn't,
wouldn't,
ruin the initial
Save
conversation.
it for the podcast.
Save it for the podcast. We should have written it down.
Oh,
we should have
man.
told Siri. She would know.
I'm
Maybe hold on.
pretty sure it was that Adam and Eve stuff
Maybe it does. Hold on a second.
with the chromosomes.
Siri,
and the-
what were we supposed to talk about on the podcast today?
Looking for the talk about on the
Good job.
wow.
Hey, he actually opened my podcast app, so that's kind
How
of
come
cool.
your Siri's a boy?
You can change it, and my wife didn't like another woman talking to me, so
It's that kind of fun.
that's only half true. But I do prefer the male.
On Sundays.
Joey went away because he's coughing a lot.
Try to help you out there. You're my friend.
I
so
appreciate that.
don't want other people sending you texts that you don't want.
I don't want that either.
I thought there was no mail on Sundays. Talk about email.
There's a newspaper. It's actually a bigger newspaper to make up for the lack of mail.
So you're
not true.
compensating?
That's exactly right.
I feel bad for our friend Joey. He's been coughing a lot this past week, and he is not having a good time with it.
Sorry.
And he's going to trip
Okay.
over the headphones. Lean forward, Andrew.
I got it.
That's you guys.
I'm currently getting over the flu and bronchitis. So
And on the,
freaking sucks.
not only that, he flew with the flu.
I did fly with the flu.
We
Flew with the flu.
we did kind of a funny, unique situation last week when we realized we had 6 days off between a show in Baltimore, Maryland, and the show today in Maine, northern Maine, and we figured out that we could spend about the same amount of money to fly everyone home for the week for those 6 days, rather than sitting on the bus. Spending money on food and spending money on fuel, the generator, and
Having to hang
bus
out with
driver.
each other.
Having to hang out with each other, which I can't
So
put a price.
lame.
Yeah, there's no price tag for that. Just devalues my soul.
MasterCard.
Yeah. So we flew home, and now we got back. I've never flown back to the bus on tour, which is
That's
pretty
the first.
interesting.
I've never done it either. That's the
Wow.
first time it's ever happened. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
cool.
I guess it's only because
well, no, I guess I have flown back.
you
to the
have,
bus
but we've never all left the bus before.
like the bus was left somewhere
Yeah.
with no one on it.
Very strange.
Phyllis.
I'm sure it
shed
had no
tears.
idea what was going on. Poor bus.
It did feel cool, like flying back to the bus, like knowing that I was gonna eventually be in my bed on the bus
Right.
at some point that night. And
Because
yesterday was like the longest day in the history of mankind.
But it was also very
Twas.
good.
It was also very good. I
So-
got to see Paul Revere's grave.
That's true. And
Ben
tell us what he
Franklin?
did.
He said, "Hey guys, the British are coming."
Just
That
like
is true. That was it.
Only one of them by land and only 2 of them by sea. If there's only 3 guys, what was the big deal?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
You know, the lanterns. 1 if by land, 2 if by sea. And,
Oh.
yeah. It's in a history book. Go
History
read it.
buff.
Yeah. You'll
Go,
learn
go
about
read
one
it.
day.
The history book.
What was it?
Huh?
How many did he put up?
I want to say it was by land. So it's 1.
Okay.
Did they come by land?
This is the Revolutionary War, right?
Yeah.
Correct.
Dude, who else's grave was that? Ben Franklin.
John Hancock.
John Hancock.
This was at, I think it was called the Granary Cemetery in Boston. We never said where we were. We were in Boston yesterday, and we walked around some. Beautiful day. Saw this awesome cemetery, and a lot of founding fathers buried around there.
They had a replica.
We found him.
They had a replica of the Constitution. And
Declaration of Independence, I think.
that one. And
Hey, he didn't read the Bill of Rights. He read the Bill of Wrongs.
yeah, that one.
Wow.
Dude, I'm just saying, John Hancock had a far superior signature to everyone else. Everyone looked like a kindergartner.
Yeah, it is amazing when you look at it, because then you realize why people call it a John Hancock. I mean, he was the first to sign, I think, right? But then he also had the biggest, most elaborate
He
signature.
signed it dead center at the top,
Yeah,
like
biggest font by
just
far.
letting you guys know.
It's like, I feel like he
I'm the
probably
best.
signed, and then he was like, oh man, not everyone's going to be able to fit.
Leaving it
Yeah,
No, he did it, I think, on purpose.
He did it on purpose,
to-
yeah,
so
it
the
was
king
the
could
king.
read it.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Very cool.
For real?
Andrew and Kevin are the most historically schooled, so I enjoy
Well,
hearing
we've
them.
been around longer, so.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I mean, combined, I guess you have longer than the 2 of
I was
us.
gonna say, I've been
bad,
around
that was
like 1 month less than
My
Josiah.
bad about the Constitution.
So speaking of history,
Oh, and needless to say, all of this has given Phyllis some abandonment issues because we left her alone in Boston for the whole week.
because there was no band on her.
Mint.
We meant to be
Here.
a band on tour.
Just the band part. that was good enough.
well,
Abandonment issues.
I gotta just test the
I
water. see
liked
if
it.
it's out there.
I liked it. If
let's
this was a video,
abandon
you would've
this
seen me
joke.
smiling the entire time. It's not.
All right.
Because you see, we're a band.
I get it.
Oh.
I get it. It's great.
Man.
We went to Fenway Park,
We did.
which some would argue that it is the most historic park still being played in America for baseball. Got to see a Red Sox game. Baseball season's in full swing, no pun intended. And we watched the Sox beat the Blue Jays. It was a great night.
5-3.
5-3. We
Spoiler alert.
And we
Wait.
got to see David Ortiz steal a base, and we went and looked
I
at
looked it
stats.
up.
So did we.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Tell us.
It was 1 of 16 stolen bases in his 20-year career.
Yep.
Last time he stole a base was in 2013.
So amazing.
So we saw it.
We saw history.
And this is his final season playing. He's, if you don't know, he's a really amazing all-star, veteran, 20 years, going to the Hall of Fame for sure.
They
And-
chanted his
yeah.
name quite often at the game.
Yes.
Poppy.
Poppy. Yeah.
and
yeah.
there were so many people there.
It was packed. I mean, it was a Friday night, but still, it
insane.
was packed. A lot of great energy.
Most likely his last stolen base.
Honestly, it probably was.
And we got to
At
see
his
that.
current rate, yeah.
Yeah. Because the reason that's rare for those who don't know him is he's a big dude. I think he's 6'3" and 230, 240. Big dude. He's basically there to.
That's big.
Yeah. He's 39
I mean,
years old.
for some of us.
So we think.
Yeah, actually, that's right. So he's a big dude for a baseball player. He's there to hit the ball far, and he's not there to run fast. So he stole the base, and the reason he was able to is because the pitcher didn't even check on him when he was leading off, because you're like, oh, he's not going to steal.
First base wasn't
He's
covering,
only stolen.
and shortstop and second
Yep.
weren't even close to the base.
Yep.
And when he stole the base, they didn't even move.
No one even covered.
No one moved to cover any base. No one did anything.
The Pope was more likely to steal second when he visited Boston than David Ortiz was.
Was he
Man, we got
near?
a lot
Was
of
he
Pope jokes today.
a lot of Pope jokes?
Big
Right.
Popey.
Wow.
He's not that big.
Oh, okay.
And everybody lost their dang mind when he did it too.
Yeah.
Oh, it was so
Yeah,
cool.
awesome.
Yeah.
That's
Standing
great.
ovation.
Yeah, like no one applauds a steal that much. Like
Dude, it was so cool to see it.
it was.
It was cool.
Yeah, we
And there's also, we were celebrating, Josiah and I were celebrating. It's in 1914, the Boston Braves won the World Series at Fenway Park. Fenway Park was not Boston Braves' home, but they were building a new stadium for the Boston Braves, and so they didn't have a stadium to play in, so they rented Fenway Park for possibly that season, but definitely for the World Series.
For the price of $7 per game.
That was amazing. So we were there to celebrate the 102nd anniversary of the Braves winning the World Series.
And that was their first franchise World Series,
That
correct?
was their first franchise.
First
World Series.
and out of 3.
Wait, so Fenway Park did not start out as the official stadium for the team?
No, it was the Red Sox
It
stadium.
was the Red Sox. So the Boston Braves just borrowed it to play the World Series.
Oh,
in.
so the Red Sox existed.
The Red
before
Sox
It's just
Boston.
like how now they have the Yankees and the Mets are both in New York. The White Sox and the Cubs are both in
okay.
Chicago.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they overlapped
And
parks
we
for a
also
minute.
celebrated because as the Red Sox game ended last night, the 2016 Atlanta Braves gained their first win of the season after a 9-game losing streak to start the season.
Who said they couldn't?
Who said yeah.
They can win a game.
It's
Winning is
noticed-
so much fun.
Stats moment. I noticed on the crawl today on ESPN that while we were watching the Warriors game a minute ago, that the last time they started 0-10 was 1988. And I was thinking that's probably a decent omen for you because that means
Right.
they were pretty bad in 1988. But guess what? By 1991, 92,
World Series bound.
set up to be an awesome team
Well, they
for
went
the next 15
yeah,
years.
They
So-
went worst to first, 90 to 91, I believe.
Yeah.
So it's
There you go.
If
Thank you, John Schmaltz.
yeah, exactly. So if history is any indication, the Braves will hopefully turn it around next year. But this year's
So,
probably going to be miserable to watch.
We had a great sports day yesterday. After the game, we went out to eat and watched the Predators versus the Ducks.
That's
And
hockey.
they won.
That is the hockey
Predators
playoffs,
won?
NHL.
Predators won, baby.
3-2.
3-2.
Philip Forsberg.
Yes.
3-2, yeah.
Yeah,
We didn't finish the game. We
On the
came
road.
back. It was really late, and I think most people went to bed before the game was over. But
Right.
I checked the score as soon as I woke up.
Me too.
Yep.
I forgot that it happened.
It's probably funny. We were so beat because we woke up. Us in Nashville literally met at our bus lot at 3:30 a.m.
Yeah,
To
woke
get
up at
to
3.
to get to our to take a cab down to the airport to get to our 6 a.m. flight, and we stayed up. I mean, some of us napped on the plane and stuff. Joey napped a lot. I'm jealous, but we were up for 22 straight hours. Essentially, other than that.
Nice to
so,
meet you.
Oh,
Jealous? I'm Kevin.
nice to meet you. Thank you.
Aw.
Huge fan. And
Love introductions.
So it was a very tiring day, but I was thinking that it's funny for the listeners probably to go back because probably 5 episodes ago, Andrew was like just getting us into hockey for the first time.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like he was probably like, well, Andrew's the
Success.
hockey guy,
I
so.
mean, no, I mean, this is how many podcasts we have not done in the past year.
Right.
Because we were cheering for the Predators in the playoffs last year with GJ, different sound guy.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Since then, we've one of our videos is made Sports Center.
Yep.
To do with hockey.
Yep, that's right.
That was
People may know
almost a year ago
Yeah.
exactly.
Almost a year ago, we were cheering against the Blackhawks. Then last night, we were cheering against the Blackhawks.
Yes.
We don't hate the Blackhawks, but there was just some guy
I do.
wearing.
Dude, that poor
Well,
Andrew does.
Andrew hates him. So all you Chicago Blackhawks fans out there, don't get riled up. We
Don't listen to Disciple.
Unsubscribe.
don't hate us
That-
yet. But
we're
anyway,
talking to you, Dan Beard.
there's a Blackhawks fan sitting in front of us, and he was like getting so mad because the Blues tied the game
Right.
with a.
Which then their goal got rescinded, so it didn't even matter.
Yeah, it didn't even matter.
But we were
He
just
was-
trying
he
to.
was totally throwing a temper tantrum
Yeah.
about the Blues scoring a goal.
So Kevin decided that we were going to troll him.
So I said something I thought under my breath, but apparently my voice carried last night, and I was
It's like you're a professional vocalist or something.
apparently, I said something under my breath. What did I say? So we're in Boston of all places. We're
Yeah.
very far from Chicago. Here's this guy wearing a Chicago jersey, totally into it, throwing a temper tantrum, and I was like,
Oh, my team's only won the Stanley Cup 3 times in the last 5 years. This sucks. We got scored
man,
on.
I'm so mad.
Andrew really does hate them.
So I was just kind of like,
No.
hey,
Yeah.
I was like, nobody cares about Chicago, man. Like, something like
Right,
that's what
yeah.
I said. So he turned around and gave us the stink eye, and then so then it was just over from there. I trolled him the rest of the night.
We would all cheer when the Blues
Every
would do
time
something
the Blues
good.
did anything, we heckled him.
And of course, Chicago finagled the win just by, shooting the puck in off somebody's foot, and
I've
goal
heard
got
that-
overturned offsides.
I've heard that a majority of hockey games are won from someone shooting the puck in. Believe it or not.
All right,
For,
that's actually
for 2 centuries.
Yeah, right.
for over 2 centuries. Hockey has been played in three periods,
periods.
not 2 halves.
Until tonight.
We also, if you know what we're talking about, I'd be very impressed. We also play a lot of the EA Sports NHL 16.
Which is the PlayStation 3 game that
And we were just quoting some lines from the
And
game.
There's a
We know them all really well.
Yeah, there's a good chance they will repeat. The announcers will repeat themselves.
Right. Well, as much as
From
we
game
play,
to game to game to game to game. So
Yeah.
yeah, when you play it 16 times a day, you hear the same line, and that's one of them.
It's also cool to say that we've all three, me, Andrew, and Kevin, have all gotten to where we could all beat each other.
Yeah.
Given the right circumstances.
I'll tell you what, listeners, I'm proud of these young men because when I met
Aw,
them,
thanks, man.
He's
They
a young
didn't
man, I'm
know-
a Prince man.
Thanks.
Oh, sorry.
I'm just glad he called me young. That was awesome. That's really thanks.
you'll always be young to me.
Yeah, thank you. Forever young.
And the
My
DMV.
my wife is now forever young as well.
Nice.
It was a good strategy.
Yep.
You're proud of us young men.
So, anyways, proud of you, young men and prince men and young West men. Go West, young man.
I'm still undefeated.
Dang right.
Joey has yet to carry this torch.
I'm too busy playing my NASCAR game. Leave me alone.
It's true. But they didn't know what a blue line was when I met them, and now we're watching games.
Yes.
We know the players.
Using
we know the
terminology.
rules, using terminologies.
There's certain players that I hate just because they always will
Okay.
score
so
on
yeah,
me in the
we just-
game.
Yeah.
We're just cheering against the Blackhawks, but who do I play with on NHL? I play with the Blackhawks. That's who I play. And
Which is-
Andrew is the Philadelphia Flyers, and Josie usually plays with the Nashville Predators.
Uh-huh.
I've been sticking with them lately.
Roman Josie is his favorite
Right, yeah.
player.
Exactly.
Yeah,
My
exactly.
namesake is on the team, so
So anytime I fight with Josie in the game,
It's always
Seabrook
Brent
is the one that comes
Brent
out.
Seabrook.
So Josie always is like Seabrook. Every
like
time he
catchphrase.
sees him, he comes out.
And
Fights.
so last night I legitimately felt hostility towards him in real life on the TV, even though he's never done anything against me.
It is a real thing. They do a pretty good job in the game of the player tendencies. I mean, the fighting is a little, fighting in real life is much more case to case.
Right.
In the video game, they're like, this guy fights all the time. But the guys that are scoring on you,
Right. Well, yeah,
And
because you always say
hitting
if I
and-
if I score a super hard shot, you're like, oh, it's because you shot with Weber or whatever, and I
Yeah.
have no idea who's who when I'm actually
James,
playing.
James
right,
Neal, of
exactly.
course, has 100% accurate shots.
Right,
so they
right.
Go in, which we saw happen last night in real life.
Yeah.
It's in Forsberg.
So
Johansson.
before we switch topics for people who don't care about
Yeah, I was about to
baseball,
say,
and people who don't care about hockey, so I had shoulder surgery in December. Right now, I'm giving everybody here the cold shoulder.
Because he's wearing an ice pack.
I'm wearing
Yep.
an ice pack on my shoulder. So I had shoulder surgery in December, and so April 15th was my day that I could begin throwing again, and which was yesterday. And
You used your tax refund to buy a new baseball glove. Right?
so that's really big for us because we play a lot of baseball out on the road,
Yep.
and so I got to throw again. I actually did a couple days early at home, and then got to throw with Josie out
telling.
there today. Yeah, and so yeah, I've got a lot of work to do. My throw's not.
But
not-
you're actually really concentrating on it and working on it.
Yeah.
Not just hoping it magically gets better. You're gonna put in the reps. It looks like.
I do work really hard at it. That is my weakness. Has been my throw. Wow.
That's Kevin's shoulder.
So we love to play a lot. My weakness is definitely my throwing. Hitting, fielding is fine, but the throwing is it. And then after surgery, obviously it got worse. So
I was really hoping we would have a rookie of the year situation where you would come back and just have a 100-mile-an-hour amazing fastball.
Hey, Rosenbagner.
If you haven't watched that movie, it's amazing. Go watch it.
and so the other thing is now that I'm healed up, or mostly healed up, I have vowed to myself that I'm going to play more golf this year than I ever have. So on off days, our off days coming up.
Yeah. Are you going to this week?
Well, if we're not, if everybody's just wanting to hang out and not play baseball,
yeah.
or not go outside and play soccer, or not go play racquetball, or whatever we want to go do, whatever game we want to do. If no one wants to go do that, then I'm playing golf. I've just decided after 4 months of just sitting here waiting to be well, I'm itching to just get out and play.
And doesn't your new house have a golf course next to it or something?
Yeah.
Are you going to play more at home, you think?
I cannot play at home. It's never going to happen. I'm a father of 3 kids.
Is that right?
So, in order for me to be able to go play,
We're all grown men.
that means I need to go leave home to go play when I'm already not home.
Don't they make like stroller caddy like golf bags,
Well, I did-
combos?
I did take Avery out one time, and she's just a natural at most everything. And so, if I can take her out, but still, the other two, just, I'm just not home a lot. So,
Totally.
to leave is not something. So golf is the last thing on my mind when I'm home. I just basically just want to hang out with my kids and do whatever they want to do.
I've got good news. Our partners on the fall tour won't jump the gun and announce it yet, but I'll
They do love playing
throw
golf.
a teaser out there. They love playing golf on even show days, if I remember
Yep.
right.
I do
so.
love playing golf on show days.
Is it official where we can announce it or no? We probably shouldn't.
Why the heck not?
The offer's in.
Why the heck not?
We're on it.
We're on it. We are doing a tour with the band Red this fall,
Red.
and we're not sure where it's going to go. So stop asking. I know you're already typing right now. Come to Brazil.
And we're not sure who else. We're not sure who else is on the tour.
Right. All we know, literally all we know, is that it's a month that we're blocking out to tour with the band Red and some other bands. Is it a
End
little
of
more?
September to end of October.
Cool.
So like all of October and some of September.
Okay. Cool.
If you're also currently typing, why don't you ever come to fill in the blank my city? You won't be able
I
to
haven't
blame
been there.
Won't be able to blame us this time because
Right,
it's
we're
not
not
us
booking it.
booking it or our booking agency.
Right.
You will have to save those comments for Red's booking agencies.
Red's booking.
What if
Facebook.
What if what you just said magically worked and no one said that about it the whole tour? Like, how awesome would that be?
I would say it again.
For real. I say that because.
So
That's
are you
not the
saying
case.
you guys get aggravated when somebody says come to such and such city?
Well, I would say
Only
that
if we just played there.
that's when it's
Yeah.
aggravating. That happens more than you can imagine.
Hey, come
listeners.
to Southern California. We played there last night.
Yeah, I mean,
that's what
are
it
you
is.
kidding me?
Yeah.
I would say 50%
Yep.
50% of the time. That's 5,000 and 50% of the time.
That's a lot. That's great.
That's great.
That whenever somebody says come to such and such city, we played there within the month.
Within the month, absolutely.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
I
if
would love-
someone says please come to Hawaii, I'm like, yeah, I get it. If you're a fan in Hawaii, like that kind of sucks because we're never. I mean,
Or the Philippines or Alaska.
yeah, like that's very unlikely we're gonna be there anytime
if you
soon.
live in-
Hey,
Joshua.
It's our sound guy, tech, front of house engineer, extraordinaire man, lighting designer.
Tell us what you're
else?
thinking.
LED content.
What's on
LED
your
content
mind?
designer.
How's your heart?
How's your heart? How's your walk?
Heart's good.
Heart's good.
Heart's good.
Come sit down. We're making an a cappella record.
This is Josh O'Connell. If you know anything about the last name O'Connell, then you know that he's
Joshua
probably
O'Connell.
Irish. He's probably from Boston, and all those things are true. He probably has red hair.
Yep.
Probably has a red beard. All of the stereotypes of someone named O'Connell. He
Super
has-
angry. No.
He's fulfilled them all. Grew up Catholic. Got it. Nailed it.
Wow.
Boom.
No kidding.
Josh O'Connell.
Catholic.
Really?
No.
But
No,
you grew up
he-
near a Catholic church, right?
He grew down Catholic.
Dude, have you met the Pope?
Big Popey.
Oh man. Yeah, Josh was our native tour guide last night around Boston. He somehow meandered us back to the car after the game. We went through a mall and some weird places.
Meandering we did.
We definitely meandered.
But back to what you were talking about.
Yes,
I'm pretty sure if you live in Hawaii, nothing sucks. So
that's a good
you
point.
might need to.
That's a good point. I've
revise
seen
your
Lost.
statement.
It's beautiful.
Wait, the whole time they're in
shoot.
Hawaii?
I spoiled it.
Dude, I'm only on season 3.
The finale is it's just
Waikiki.
these tourists come over and like take pictures.
From the islands or the Sandals Beach Resort.
Yeah, right.
Why are these people
All right,
filming?
So let's switch to entertainment. So this tour, we have been watching a lot of Lost.
That is true. There are 6 seasons. It's my personal favorite television show, and Andrew and Joey have never seen it as well as Josh. Kevin's seen it before, but the rest of them, everyone else is brand new to it.
Yeah, the
Yes.
Disciple 2.0 guys got me into it. I think Micah and Israel were super huge Lost fans. And so I got into it around season 4, I think. And on the back of the bus, I remember watching season 1 within 24 hours. Like, I just
Amazing.
knocked it out, I don't know how many hours that is, 12, 13, whatever.
It was
14
probably 13,
It's a
14
couple.
hours.
13, 14 hours.
16 or
So-
18 episodes, so, right?
Oh, I thought it was 24 episodes
Maybe you're right.
per season. And
Well,
I mean, you go a little less than an hour, like
Right.
45 minutes per.
If that's
so
the
that
case, then it wasn't 24 hours. Maybe it was 48. But I knocked it out really, really quick.
It's amazing.
And the best thing that I remember about Lost when it was on TV, before it was finalized and everybody knows, and like most people always say, "Oh, I don't know what happens, but I've seen the last episode."
Right.
I don't know how many times I've heard that this year.
A lot.
But the best thing about Lost when it was on TV was the conversations that
Right.
would be had. It was people would be like, "The smoke monster.
Right.
What is
this?
it?
What
what
is-
what is the
the
button?
island?
Why
What
are they
is-
pushing
yeah.
the button?" I
Who
mean,
are the others?
You would
Yeah.
have hours, long conversations about this.
Totally.
that.
There was so much speculation when you waited week to week, and it was one of the first shows to really do that, I think, in a viral kind of way. And it was airing right when like Twitter was becoming a thing, and the whole social media thing was getting big. So it just had all this awesome viral momentum. So yeah, I agree. It was a great time to be watching it because the world was kind of catching on to it.
All the guys that were so passionate about, and they had put so much thought and time
so
and
much
effort.
theorizing.
Yeah, and okay, this is what I think it is,
Right.
and I can't say any of the theories,
Right.
But
But which is
people have not seen
also
it.
speaks a lot to why a lot of people were disappointed when it was over, because whatever anyone could expect, all the different ways it could have ended, I'm not going to say how it did, obviously, but all the different ways it could have ended, it ended one way. So everyone who either expected or wanted it to end a different way, which is so many people,
Yeah,
were
so many
disappointed.
people.
So
Yeah,
you can't
exactly.
please everyone with a show like that. It's just the way it is, unfortunately.
Agreed.
Great show. Also, Star Wars has come out.
Of course. Yeah.
I brought my Blu-ray.
You did?
Yeah.
That's awesome. So, I've seen
Of
it a
Star
few
Wars.
times since it's come out on Blu-ray,
Same.
and
how many is that? How many is a few?
I've probably watched it somewhere between 10 full times and 20
Wow.
something half times.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's been with me on some drives home.
Your co-pilot.
It's been my co-pilot.
do
It's been
have
your
some-
R2.
I figured out that I could like plug it into my stereo in my car and just crank it
And not watch it at all, of course.
No.
Of course not watch it. That would be illegal.
Here comes
and-
all the Facebook comments from all the moms out there.
yeah, all the
All of
yeah.
our law enforcement subscribers are
Yeah.
typing furiously.
I would never 100% watch it while I was driving. Only a much less than 100%.
Right. Well, but the hard part is he has to do it without a seatbelt on, so he can reach over and like and turn the screen whenever he needs to. So
That is. Go ahead. That does make it more difficult. Yeah.
No, I love it. It seriously is one of those movies that when it's over, I can't wait to start it again.
awesome.
Yeah, it's good.
They did a good job for sure.
The music.
I'll agree with that.
The music, everything, the sounds. I love the sounds.
Yep.
Like the epic part of the movie that you can't tell anybody. The spoiler, the
Right.
big
Yes.
thing that happens in the movie. The sounds during that part of the movie are so
Sound
intense
design,
and so just
amazing.
incredible.
That's so cool. That's something that you probably take for granted a lot in a lot of movies, and most people probably do. Is that, that stuff is not just the noises they capture on the camera when they're recording it. That's sound. Yeah, like you said, sound designers are going in after the fact and making these, noises and replicating them and recording them to add to the feel. And that I think is a really cool art form, and a really cool job. And I don't understand it at all.
I think the thing that amazed me was we watched the behind the scenes or the special features and
Right.
everything, and most of the stuff in the movie that in my mind I thought, oh, they probably just like CG'd that in, or
Yep.
that's not real. Like after watching the special features, like most everything was real. Like
So cool. Practical
absolutely
effects is what they
incredible.
call it. And
Yeah,
that, super cool.
absolutely.
Which is a
incredible
lot of,
how
I
they
know
did
we
it.
were really impressed because Interstellar did that a lot too.
Right.
And that's like, we love
Right.
watching those special features and seeing how they did that.
Interstellar.
Clap, clap.
Clap, clap, clap. Time travel
one of
is so
our
cool.
Fifth
Favorite
dimensional.
movies on this bus.
Yeah, we're
One
good.
of our favorite movies on the bus is Interstellar.
Yes, we love it.
I think we've
And
talked
we got
about
a lot
it
of
on the
movies.
podcast before.
I think we have too.
Yeah.
The original sound design for Star Wars was pretty revolutionary, obviously.
Right.
And they had a lot of cool ideas. I learned at one point how they made the sound of the laser guns firing, the stormtroopers and Han Solo and stuff, is like a really tight metal wire, and they hit it with a little hammer, and they have a microphone at the other end of the wire, so when the vibration goes down the wire, it goes like choo, choo.
Oh, that's awesome.
So this guy's got this big telephone wire, and strung up super tight, and it's in this weird little tunnel, and he just hits it with this little doctor hammer.
Wow.
And,
I wish y'all could see Kevin's face right now. He is in total
here,
amazement.
let me put the mic on it.
Oh yeah.
Dude, that is incredible. The fact that someone came up with that idea
Yeah.
to do that.
I don't even think, knowing how to do it, I could figure out how to do it.
That's not, yeah, right. That's what. When you think about it, nowadays, even since the 80s and 70s, they've had synthesizers that have had all these sounds and little lasers and stuff. But before that, how could anyone make a sound practically with just things that sounded like a laser beam or
Right.
an explosion?
Every sample
or,
is
something
rudimentary.
real.
Yeah, it had to come from something, and that
A
we think
physical
something
sound,
else we
yeah.
take for granted. Yeah, it's so cool to think about.
I don't think I really said that right. Every
Did you say-
digital sound is rooted in a real sound, is what I meant to say.
Okay, what did you say?
Nothing.
We're gonna take a break. We've got to go inside and do a meet and greet, and we'll be right back. Hey, here we are, back again. I know you've been waiting, but the wait is over.
I don't know what goes there.
I was gonna announce the podcast, but I can't remember the name. So,
You ready? Are you ready?
we have a very exciting time coming up because we are heading into the studio in 2 weeks. And
Yeah.
to record a full-length album of musical songs. That's what I've been told.
LP.
Yes, long play. Yeah, that's what I've heard. Anyway, wait, don't we just record it onto a CD? Isn't that how it works?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm ready. We, as many of you know, the album is called "Long Live the Rebels," and I would say it's funny because we've had plenty of songs come through, but we have it narrowed down to pretty much 11 of them are solid yeses, and then there's a spot that kind of is fluid right now, where in the sequencing where we have a few options we could use depending on the strategy we want to take. But there's also room for a new song if something comes through, in the near future. So it's kind of a fun
Close.
place to be. Yeah, it's really close. I mean, everything else besides that one spot is pretty much ready to go, and we've made really good demos for it all, and we've had on this tour VIPs, the special VIP package called Dinner with Disciple we've been doing, where we've had 2 people will come up every night that had purchased the package, and it's just 2 people every night, and they eat dinner with us, hang out on the bus, and we'll show them the new demos, and I think they've been going over pretty well. People seem to like it.
It's the best Disciple album that hasn't been made yet.
Wow. Yep. Yeah, that's
Dude, that delivery was
You're s-
perfect. Again, your facial expression while that was happening. it just-
yeah. So you're saying that we're gonna peak with this album and not be able to match it again?
That's exactly what he's saying.
yeah, this is it. We will never be better than we are.
I was going
right
to focus
now.
on the time period that is coming up next and not the one after it. But
Oh, I
if you
see.
want to take it there,
Well,
yeah.
I'm just clarifying.
Yeah, if you want to take it there, after the best album of Disciples' career, it will be less good. That's very true.
I mean, I guess that's true. Yeah, fundamentally.
But
So
we're,
we just
we're
made
still
a-
on the rise.
We just made a video for the whatever crowdfunding platform we use, Kickstarter, Indiegogo, whichever one, but we made a video for the crowdfunding campaign.
You got to have a trailer to go with the campaign.
Yeah, and it's like a 2-minute long video, and
We haven't released it yet, so you can't see it yet.
Yeah, I haven't released it yet, so it's just the first draft, but we've been watching it a lot because it was so well done by a friend of ours, and
His name's Joel.
his name's Joel Burris, and it was so amazing. Like I sent it to my wife, and she was just like, I can't wait to show this to my friends. You know, that she said I got goosebumps, and
that's
was
awesome.
like, you know, like it's a really powerful video. you know?
We've gotten some rave reviews from people in the inner circle. I don't know exactly what the direct quotes were, but they've been really good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Indeed. We're excited. It's going to be cool. We're going to start.
I remember those non-podcast approved quotes myself.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't remember them, so
Yeah. No.
I can't pass any judgment.
Sometimes.
Yeah, we're going to hopefully launch the campaign. We need to talk about it. That's one of the things we need to talk about this weekend, actually. But we're excited to launch it fairly soon and give you guys the opportunity to pre-order it pretty much and get some cool packages.
I'm realizing in real time that this is the 2016 Disciple campaign. Kickstarter or Indiegogo.
Notre Dame fight song.
Did someone just knock on the door?
I thought it was like a campaign song.
Yeah, that too.
It's Matt Baird. I think he probably needs us to play a show.
Well,
you know.
What if they're on stage right now?
That'd be hilarious.
Bring
him up.
Yeah, bring him up here. Guest appearance. We playing this.
Hey, they're ready.
Okay.
Later, Josiah. Go play with your other band, traitor.
Yeah. You guys keep talking.
We'll finish this podcast with the real members.
You have to play a show.
I guess I'll do that. I don't have my stuff. I need my ears. Yes.
And only 2 were left.
Only 2 were left. It's me and Joey.
Yeah.
And Kevin.
I think turn it around.
This is the way the microphone
That
goes.
is the way it
Yes. I'm a professional
Yeah.
singer.
There's
I know how to
Natalie.
use a microphone.
Natalie, do you want to make your second appearance on the podcast?
You sure?
Positive.
All right. Well, you did, whether you want to be on here or not. Just happened.
Well, Josiah had to go play a show with Spoken.
Which
because
he's done really well.
He has done very, very well. And then Andrew, I don't know what he did.
I don't know where he
He
went.
vanished.
So on this tour, the City Rock Fest, which features Children 18-3, Spoken, Decipher Down, Seventh Day Slumber, and Disciple, Josiah's been filling in for Spoken, and something happened on this tour, which we have not discussed on the podcast.
Yep.
But if you've been following our social media, you would have seen it. Spoken's other guitar player, Scoop, like Josiah and him have this like moment where they just like play guitars to each other. Really kind of weird to say out loud, but anyway.
Yeah.
It's weird when you say it like that. But Josiah, for some reason, thought it would be just a really cool moment of the show to just like air punch Scoop.
And it is something that Josiah does. It wasn't just like the first time he's ever air punched. He likes to fight a lot of invisible things very often. Because he does that to me behind the drum kit, but he can't ever reach me.
But that's true.
But yeah, so he did the air punch. And
Unfortunately, Scoop was standing very close and headbanged into Josiah's flying fist.
Yep. And he punched him square between the eyes.
Square between the eyes.
Pretty hard.
And so, if you haven't seen it online, Joey made some amazing videos to
did.
go with it. There was a Super Mario Brothers version.
Yep. And then a Mortal Kombat version after
Yes.
that. Thank you, college, for teaching me
Yes.
how to make cool videos.
Yes. The most interesting thing about the original uncut video is watching Scoop like literally trying to stand up and continue playing after he just basically was dazed by a punch to the face.
He was basically running backwards, holding his nose, like trying to still play and couldn't. And you can tell Josiah felt terrible.
Oh yeah, because he just kind of ran
Yeah.
up to him like
He was, like,
"I'm
running with
sorry."
him.
Like neither one of them are playing guitar in the show at that point. They're just kind of.
Do we know who filmed that?
I have no idea. The Holy Spirit filmed it. That's who filmed
Well,
it.
if you were the person that filmed that video and circulated it, thank you.
Absolutely.
You deserve a hug.
There's so many times on the road where we're like, I wish that was on film. I wish that was on film. And
Yep.
that's one of those. It's like, I'm glad it's on film. I'm
Yep.
so glad it's on film.
Absolutely. Man.
So it's 2016. Got a election coming up, and it's looking like it's going to be pretty interesting as far as like sitting here in April. You know, looking. You know, we've got a couple months before we really decide. I guess it's like August. So that's more than a couple. 3.5 months till we decide the final two candidates. And I enjoy political theater. I enjoy the drama of it.
Yep.
You know, either side, Republican or Democrat. So yeah, this season has been dramatic to say the least. Man,
It's definitely the most memorable presidential race that I can remember
yeah,
in my
it's
lifetime.
I try not to take sides in a podcast because so many people are like passionate
Yeah.
about either liking someone or not liking someone.
Yeah.
They're passionate about it. Like I'm for him or I hate him or for her or hate her. You know, just really, really passionate. But I enjoy it. I really enjoy all the insides and outs of what's going on and hearing the whining and the complaining and,
Yeah.
and the trash talk.
I'm very
all that.
interested
It's very
to see-
entertaining.
I'm very interested to see how this one is going to play out.
Yeah, unfortunately, all that drama probably doesn't equal good leadership. I'm
Yep.
not to show my cards too much, but I'm not very excited about anybody
Yeah,
at
me
this
neither.
point. And kind of like I'm enjoying the drama, but once somebody actually gets in there, I'm just going to be like, so what are they actually going to do now?
Right.
What's our country going to be like now? So yeah, I don't know. Definitely don't know.
I don't either. I don't even know where to take this for the pot.
I know it's just it's one of those fun things to watch, fun things to be a part of, but really not much to say because we have to we don't really want to offend anybody or make anybody mad out there, so we can't really, say
Yeah.
this person is a real jerk and probably deserves to, be slapped.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't really say that out loud, but it's
Yeah,
obvious.
And it's I think if somebody
It's fairly
knows who you're
obvious I'm talking about John Kasich. He's such a jerk. So inappropriate and rude. And just stirs
Yeah.
up riots and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Ohio, man. Anybody from Ohio. That's how. All right, if you sneeze again, I'm going to pay you $25. All right? Sneeze again. I'm going to owe you and then it's going to multiply as we not coughing, that's not the same thing.
I know.
Sneeze again. All right. Sorry, Joey has bronchitis.
Yeah.
So that means like every time he talks, and he's talking more now that it's just us two. So every time he talks, it makes his throat itch
Yeah.
and he has to cough.
Yeah, while playing drums, it's very difficult because I'll start having coughing attacks and it'll throw me off time because I can't cough in time with a click, and then I get distracted by my coughs and
You can't cough on time with the click?
Legitimately
That's
today,
a thing?
legitimately today during sound check we were playing the name and I totally got off beat because I was coughing not with the click and I was trying so hard to, and man, it just distracted the crap out of me. So
Oh my gosh.
I won't let that happen tonight while we're actually in front of people.
Let me ask you this. We were talking about an album a minute ago. What song are you most excited about to record on the new album? The new album, yeah.
I would say that my
Oh, so hold on one second. Nice of you to join us, Andrew.
Yeah.
Glad you had something important to go do while we were doing this podcast for people.
It's pretty awesome.
I'd say the song I'm most excited about recording on the new album is a song called Erase. Because every time I listen to it, It reminds me of a Dear X, and it reminds me of Invisible. Like, it really, like, almost every time I listen to it, I end up shedding a tear.
It's very moving.
Yeah, it's a very moving song.
Very powerful.
It's definitely probably my favorite off the new album.
Yeah.
Out of all the songs. What about you?
Erase is a tie for me between Erase and First Love. I really love all of the elements of First Love. Andrew wrote some really cool riffs for that song. I love the way
like lyrics, but for a guitar.
Yeah. I love the way that it starts. I love the intro. I love the guitar riff. It reminds me of just, something like a really cool song that like I wish was ours, except and it's like, oh yeah, it is ours. It's like, so that's actually if anybody knows what that feels like, like, oh man, I wish that was, something we did. And then you're like, oh, it's something we did.
Hey, it's our
If you don't know
song.
what it feels like, it's like every time you hear Panama by Van Halen,
It's
that
like,
feeling.
I wish that was my song.
Panama.
I wish I could sing like David Lee Roth and go, ah!
He does too now.
Yeah. He wishes he could sing like David Lee Roth. What's an interesting thing? Maybe one day I'll wish I could sing like Kevin Young.
So many things in life where you see it and you're like, man, if I would have just thought of that,
Dude,
like
Yeah,
the
like
Chia
Lift.
Pet.
Oh, just give people
The
right
sham
I've
wow.
never had that thought.
The ShamWow.
Sham wow.
Never thought that either. Oh my gosh. I actually in the spirit
Hangers.
of hangers, in the spirit of talking about lead singers losing their voices, I was watching YouTube of this in the spirit of Guns N' Roses is semi back together, which is
Yeah.
a really cool thing. If you, I can actually
Semi back
say
together? So it's not
Fifths.
everybody?
it's not everybody the original, but it's the big three. It's Axl Rose, Slash, and Duff McKagan, the bass player.
The
Okay.
three-fifths compromise of rock and roll.
Yes, so thank you guys for ironing that out. So I'm totally pumped. I can actually say, I like Guns N' Roses 20 years later. If I'd have said it in the 90s, I would have been crucified. But fortunately, I died daily and am crucified with Christ anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Jesus juke. Jesus juke. So I'm very excited about them being together again, and I was watching some YouTube videos of their performance. Like Axl has. Did you know this? He's got like a broken or fractured foot, and
No,
so he
and I don't
performed
know
a
what
show
his deal
sitting on a
is.
throne,
Like
just
Dave
like
Grohl.
Dave Grohl. Yeah, totally
What's
borrowed
his-
that idea.
What's his deal? Because I feel like he hasn't done a whole lot since the mid '90s when
Axl they haven't put out an album since 2008, which was Chinese Democracy.
Yeah. And like he's always hurt. Like he's always can't sing because his voice is dead or he's hurt. And I'm like, what is he
Well,
doing?
you know what? Singers like I'm out here. I'm throwing a baseball by myself because I just want to do something active.
Yeah. Well, maybe he's really active and it's just not in the public.
I guess his waistline doesn't look like it's been active. But anyway,
Oh, is he big?
it looked big to me. I don't know.
Yeah, he's bigger now than he was when he was only having heroin and
Yeah, bigger. That's not what I mean. I mean big. He looked big. Anyway, so I was watching this thing, and there was this other video that was like said Axl Rose's voice, and it had all the progression of his voice, so like what his voice sounded, and all were live performances, not studio, because you can hide in the studio what your voice sounds, but live you can't hide. So they had a live performance from like 86, and then a live performance from 87, 88, then 90, 91, 92, and then 98, and then 2001, and then on up until now. And it was the same song. I think it was Sweet Child of Mine, just him singing that, that. It was like that part of the set, where he does that thing. Sweet Child of Mine. So, and it was his voice, it was like, pristine, crystal clear in the 80s, and then it was like still pretty cool in the 90s, but he started sounding like me. It was like just kind of his voice was felt sounded like he ate sandpaper for breakfast. And then it just, you could tell it's progressively worse. So it's like age and wear and all that, but it happens.
I heard at some point in the later 90s probably, he started getting these injections in his throat before a show to have it, ease up or whatever. And I think his throat was in bad shape from all the drinking, because those guys in those days, I'm pretty sure they just drank, like James Hetfield, for sure I know, just drank whiskey, like, just out of the bottle all day, like water, and it just burns your throat away. So like,
interesting.
As a singer, like James Hetfield basically had his esophagus replaced because it was just, the walls were gone.
I can speak to this a little bit because I've had some voice issues and went to an otolaryngologist, which is a voice doctor, and one of the things they tell me is, the best thing for your voice is water, because, well, you water provides and this sounds gross, but it's actually what it needs. Your voice box, it needs this like perfectly thin mucus that water can provide. So there's a way to take that mucus away, which would be make your throat dry, and then there's a way to get too much mucus, which is milk. So here's the things that make your voice dry: alcohol and cigarettes. So a lot of rock stars drink alcohol and smoke cigarettes.
And coffee too.
And coffee dries out your throat as well. Caffeine is specifically, not necessarily coffee, but caffeine. So as a singer, if you're ingesting a lot of caffeine or smoking or drinking alcohol, it dries it out. Well, what happens if you think about it? It's very it makes a lot of sense. It's like running an engine without oil. So there's a lot of friction in the engine, without oil in there, but that oil keeps, that friction from burning or hurting something.
Right.
So that's how singers actually, injure themselves, if they smoke or if there, is a lot of drinking or caffeine or, or things like that. That's how they injure themselves. And then on the flip side of that, if you drink like dairy products or milk, that provides too much mucus. And what happens then is you end up overworking your voice, and you end up losing your voice from like singing incorrectly to you have to sing harder or work harder to actually produce the notes. And so like water is like the perfect thing for a singer. So I can speak to that a little bit because I've been 3 times to an otolaryngologist, like scared out of my mind that I've done something wrong to my voice, and by the grace of God, each time I went, I was perfectly fine and healthy. It was just, a mixture of singing incorrectly and being just swollen. So I've had some shots as well. I never had shots in my neck like you were saying, like Axl Rose, but like a steroid shot basically to get the swelling down. But, they tell me you don't want to do that more than once or twice a year because your body naturally produces that steroid, whatever it is. And if you start giving it to yourself on a regular basis, then your body will stop producing it, and then you're in big trouble once that happens. So I have like avoided steroid shots after learning that. I've had them, but I only 3 or 4 times, and after learning that, I was like, I'm not going to do that anymore. If I lose my voice, I'm just going to let it heal naturally, because definitely don't want my body to stop producing anything it needs.
Right.
Yeah, that's basically the rumors that I heard, I guess, were that he was getting injections like almost daily or something.
Yeah, I mean, if you've got a big job and thousands of possibly hundreds of thousands of dollars are on the line, you're going to do that. If you're an athlete, if you're a singer, you're going to. How many athletes go out there, cortisone shot in their knees right before they go out and play, right?
But you're saying long term that would
it's not
erode,
good. Yeah, absolutely.
erode
Well, for
his
anybody.
voice away.
Yeah.
So maybe that's
football
why his
players
voice
don't
has
play.
changed so much.
Yeah, football players aren't playing football at 50, but singers are singing at 50. So, Axl's
that's
54. True. So it's.
Yeah, it's funny. That movie Almost Famous touches on this. It takes place in the 70s, and they make a joke about it. Well, it's not like Mick Jagger's going to be doing this when he's 70, and everybody laughs. Of course,
exactly.
It was released when he was, already 65.
What's awesome is Mick Jagger's like still great.
Yeah,
He's
saw
great.
him 10 years ago, I think. Maybe, maybe,
How
I
is
don't know,
that
9.
even possible?
But, and I'm sure they're as good now as they were then. And Keith Richards, I am surprised that person is alive.
That he has breath. Very surprised. His heart beats.
Yeah, his stage presence is very close to completely still. But Mick Jagger sang great, performed great, interacted with the crowd great, looked great. And one thing him and Paul McCartney have in common is they both went vegan a long time ago. And it really is interesting because I'm not like a vegan proponent or anything. I don't have any special diets that I partake in, but you look at those two guys, and for what they do, you know, being thin, English, rock and roll singers.
Being English is bad for your health. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying if
All
you
our
can
English
somehow
fans.
become English, it will
Right.
ultimately help you sing into old age very well.
I'm trying to think of what that Rolling Stones song was that was on the end of the most recent Die Hard movie.
That one that you like that you always talk about, Doom
I
and Gloom.
haven't- Doom and Gloom. Yeah, I haven't ever talked about it on the podcast. I don't think anyway. But we're watching what's the name of the last Die Hard movie? Live Free or Die Hard, I think.
Yeah.
That movie ruled.
It was so cool. And then at the end of the movie, while the credits were rolling, they were playing this like amazing song, and I thought it was Jet. It sounded like something Jet would do or whatever, and so I ran and got my phone and Shazammed it, and it was the Rolling Stones of all people, and it was this awesome, really cool song. I mean, I've always thought the Rolling Stones were like, you know, good,
Yeah.
but like, you know, they're not necessarily my cup of tea as far as like, they're not my like top 10 or anything.
Right.
But this song, I was like, wow. I mean, how old is Mick Jagger? And he's playing a song, writing a song that I wish was ours. You know, it was like that cool. Anyway, so
Yeah.
congratulations, Rolling Stones.
I'm gonna have to listen to that.
Dude,
It's been a minute since I've seen that movie.
there's a
video.
lyric video that I highly recommend to our podcast listeners of Rolling Stones' Doom and Gloom. Yeah, lyric video, incredible lyric video. Wish it was ours.
Oh yeah. Well, is it time?
See you later.
Is it time? Is it time to shut this thing down? Josiah hasn't
I'll bring
cut
it
us
back
off yet.
one more time to hockey.
Yeah.
Because in
Please do.
3 minutes, the Flyers are starting game 2 of their Eastern Conference quarterfinal series.
And tonight is game 1 of the Atlanta Hawks versus the Boston Celtics.
Ooh boy.
In Atlanta. So we were in
so many
Boston
sports
yesterday, but
happening right
you know, I like you, Boston. I think you're great, but your Celtics, not so much. Sorry.
Yeah, or the Bruins, but you know what? They're already out, so.
Yeah, exactly. Red Sox are cool.
I really hate the Red Sox from 2003 that knocked the A's out, and I like all the other ones.
Yeah, Red Sox are cool. Patriots doesn't matter because they cheat. Bruins, you know.
You heard it
Celtics.
here first, kids.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah.
So much sports going on right now.
Yeah, you know what's awesome is like us being most musicians I know don't like sports.
I know.
That's a thing.
It's
a real thing.
weird to us that they're not, but we're the anomaly.
We are a weird thing. Like most musicians don't like sports. Disciple 1.0 all liked sports. You know, Brad and Tim loved sports. I think Joey pretended to like sports while he was in a band with us.
Yeah, touchdown.
Yeah, like he became a Cincinnati Bengals fan while he just like picked. He was like, I'll just pick them. I think they had
Which team
Chad
gets the
Ochocinco.
players arrested the most?
Yeah, exactly. I
This
like
is
them.
Joey Fife he is referring to.
Not,
by
yeah,
the way.
different Joey. He liked Chad Ochocinco, and I don't know if Terrell Owens ever played them. No, he didn't.
He
Okay.
did. He did for a season, not till like 2009 or 10.
Okay, so yeah, so anyway, so he ended up liking them, but 2.0 did not like sports at all, except for Andrew Welch. Andrew Welch liked sports. But so yeah, it's a weird thing because every other band we go out with, we're like, you know, hey, blah blah, and they're like, huh?
My dad likes that.
Yeah, my dad, this guy that I hated in school who picked on me, he loved sports. Anyway, but yeah, we're definitely a weird breed of musician.
Well, and we're all like big sports fans, but not necessarily athletes. Like we all wanted to. Oh, what's that, R2?
Thank you, R2.
That's right, ladies.
That's right, lady. Oh, come on, we
Engage
can
the
tell
enemy.
we can tell
The
that
next
story.
heroic defense is starting.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we gotta tell that story before we go. But yeah, to finish that thought, we're sports fans. We're not really like jock meatheads. Like we played and are awesome at sports. We just really like stats and watching our teams.
But I love playing. I'm not great at any
Same.
sport. Yeah, but I love it. Like if a baseball game is happening, I want to play. Speaking of flag football, we've got to go buy some flags from Dick's Sporting Goods. Got to happen.
Yeah.
Get some flag football going up in this place. Yeah, I love to play. It doesn't matter. Racquetball, it doesn't matter if it's a video game. Just put a game in front of me, whether it involves physical activity, mental activity, trivia. We'll go to Buffalo Wild Wings and play trivia. I mean, me and Joey, right?
Yeah.
The man is a competitor. I'm
Yeah,
telling you, listeners, if you challenge Kevin Young to a game of anything, be prepared to play it at least 7 times or until he beats you.
Yeah, I love. Yeah, well, here, it's not about winning for me. It's really not about winning. It's about performing well. So right now I've had shoulder surgery and I can't throw a baseball very well, and it bothers me. It bothers my soul and my spirit. So like I'm out working, just bought one of those little ball rebounders that throws the ball back to you, and just out there working today, even like working on my accuracy, because it mentally bothers me that I can't throw baseball well right now. So I'm going to keep going until I can throw a baseball well. So yeah, it's not about winning. I love to play, but I want to perform well. So like hockey, like NHL 15, the video game, like Andrew is really, really good at it. And for me, it's not necessarily about beating Andrew, which I have done a handful of times, but he's beaten me like 100 times. It's not about beating Andrew. It's about performing well against him and playing well. So if I like have a bad game, it's like, no, I want to play again because I don't want to go out like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Joey, we went to Buffalo Wild Wings and did trivia. Joey, was it top 10 in the nation?
Yeah, number 9.
Number 9 in the nation, like freaking rocked it.
Yeah, it was cool that night though, because me and you, like, we played the first round and we got our scores back, and we were like, okay, this isn't good enough.
Exactly.
Next round,
we're gonna do it.
let's shoot at least for this. And then I ended up getting the 9th highest score in the country. It was cool.
He sure did, man. It was
Great Falls, Montana. Thank you, Buffalo Wild Wings.
Yeah, one of those places. One of those places like that. But I think that spirit in me has helped disciple keep going and like always striving to be better lyrically and as a band and all those things. I think it definitely plays in. It's a part of who I am that we and even our songwriting, when we write a song and we think it's pretty good, we don't settle with a pretty good song. We try to make it better.
I think that shows itself in the records too, because every record is like, oh, this was better than the last one. At least from my experience, with doing Attack, and then Vultures was part of Attack, so I won't necessarily count it. But I'm sitting here listening to all the songs for Long Live the Rebels, and I'm like, dude, Attack is such an afterthought at this point. Like these songs are like,
and
wow.
Attack's probably my favorite album that we've ever done, and I believe these songs are far superior than Attack.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be a very, very, very exciting record.
Yeah, and being a musician, playing in a band, and touring is almost like its own sport. I feel like it's the version of sports where we win every night.
Except, let's see, Portland and Seattle last year. I think we lost those games.
It was a draw.
Yeah, pretty sure that we did not win.
Yeah, there's definitely nights where we're off our game or the team doesn't show up, so to say.
That's one way of putting it.
But yeah, I mean, especially on a tour like say Rockfest or Winter Jam or Roadshow, I'm assuming it's like every night is going to be a victory. You just have to go out and participate. But you don't have that fear of losing. But the same thing applies to, like you're saying, performing well. But it's more about performing together, and there's this universal sense of victory instead of a universal sense of we beat the team from the other city. So it's kind of this cool way. I correlate everything to sports because of how I was raised. So it's this cool way of thinking about how we're all trying to perform well together. Like the crowd's trying to perform well. Yep. We're trying to perform well as a band. I'm trying to perform well as a guitarist. You're trying to sing well. It's like that trickles down into everything, and it's really challenging. Like the whole iron sharpens iron principle is really challenging to one another. Like when I play with Joey, it challenges me to be a better guitar player, and with you as a singer, and Josiah as another guitar player, and so on. Other bands, that we,
Yeah, we have a sports mentality. We're definitely not doing things and thinking that we're so cool. Like we do things and we're like, okay, that was good. How can we do it better?
Right.
Yep.
Yep. Nothing better than coming back to the bus at the end of the night and high-fiving and be like,
Good game.
good game, guys. That was awesome.
Dude, we should start after a really good show. We should do like they do on sports teams and have a victory song. Like only after really good shows.
Yeah.
You got one like fun song that you play after every time they win a game, and we could do it
All
for
I
every
do
time.
is win, no matter what.
Everybody's hands go up, and they stay there.
And they stay there. I would be like, all we do is win. I don't know.
We could be like that.
Yeah. I heard We Are the Champions on the radio the other day, and I thought of
It's
the
so
most
good.
Christian, cheesy, Weird Al Yankovic apologetics thing of singing, "He is the champion." And my mind totally went to like Carmen youth group, like let's
Yes.
turn this into whatever. And then
Yes.
I came back to reality, and I was like, that is a terrible idea. Stop thinking that.
Somebody's already done it, I'm sure.
Dude, I would
It has
be.
had to be done.
I am the least charismatic person, especially at church, but I would be jumping on the pew if we did "He is the champion" on Easter Sunday. Oh my gosh.
And now we know how to get Andrew Stanton to worship.
rock and roll away the stone.
Oh, that song is so perfect. Don't talk to me about it, what it's really about and all that kind of stuff. I don't care.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, it's such a perfect
Yeah.
song.
Yeah, say what you will about Freddie Mercury, but his ability to perform and
Oh.
control a crowd was legendary. But his musical writing and arranging is the best ever in popular music, in my opinion.
Those verses, man. Just having freshly heard the song, just like looking back, like that's one of those, that's like a doom and gloom Rolling Stone song. It's like, I wish that was ours. That was so good, so good, so good.
And bad mistakes.
Yeah, exactly. I made a few, but then there's another song that I wish was ours, which we heard last night at the Red Sox game. Sweet Caroline, bum bum bum.
That song is
It's so
only
good.
cool
It's so good.
because
It's so
of the
good.
Red Sox. Like imagine if that never happened at Red Sox games,
Right.
and it was like hands, touching hands.
Yeah, we talked about it last night. We were like, we could never cover that song because it'd be like, touching me, touching you. What? I don't think people.
Reaching out.
I don't think people would be okay with that.
Yeah, it does kind of leave you with a cliffhanger ending. It's like reaching out, sweet girl. You get it.
That was one of the
Yeah, you get the
greatest.
point. Yeah.
That was one of the greatest experiences of my life.
It was awesome.
I've only heard about that happening at Fenway.
Yeah.
And man, this has been a sports episode.
Yeah, dude.
We keep just coming back.
Yeah. Hey
Play
guys,
ball.
if you think about it, baseball would be a whole different game if the ball was green.
Oh my gosh, we have a.
Who said that?
We have somebody that's on our bus helping us out. I'm not going to call him out, but anyway,
It's genius.
he's had some moments of saying some things like, I think we're flying out of Boston, New York. That was one of the things he said that I'm going to remember for the rest of my life. And then the other one was, we're talking about baseball, and he just out of the blue just goes, dude, if the ball was green, man, that would change everything. And we
Change everything.
We busted out laughing. It was like, yeah, it'd be like playing tennis with
I
a
mean,
bat.
it really would if you think about it. But
Or
to
may-
hear it said,
Hear it said out loud.
Or maybe he's like referring to if the ball was like green, like camouflage, like the grass, not like highlighter.
That's what he
green.
meant. I
Is
think
that
that's
he
what
meant?
I think that's what he meant.
Yeah.
It'd be harder
yeah,
to see.
oh, it'd be so hard to see.
It'd be
Yeah.
harder to see, change everything. It's just kind of one of those like, how did your brain get there to that part of the thing to think that? Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty awesome, pretty funny.
He has some good thoughts.
Please keep saying stuff like that
Yes.
so we can relive it over and over.
Let's say that we have him on the next podcast.
Oh, dude, I don't know if he. I don't.
Yes.
Mm.
Speaking of the next podcast, we'll see you next time.
That's
Where
a
we
wrap,
talk
folks.
about something else.
about aliens and
How the real